Good afternoon, ma'am. Could you please state your name and provide your date of birth?
My name is Eurydice Dean.
Thank you, Ms. Dean. Ms. Dean, you're here on a Superior Court failure to appear warrant. You have a status conference October 9th, 8:30 a.m. at the downtown Phoenix Superior Courthouse. I am affirming the bond and the warrant in the amount of $750. It's a secured appearance bond. That means you can pay that directly or work with a bail bonding company. It's less than $1,000. Some companies may not work with that number. My understanding is that there are some that will. I don't know what their terms would be. So if you pay your bond, you'll be released. You're then promising to go to court on all of your court dates. You're also promising to comply with the standard conditions and restrictions of release and comply with pretrial services supervision. Ms. Dean, do you have any questions?
Sir, I was told that pretrial services was going to be available for me when I was released the last time I was here, when I got my court date, which is October 9th and the 19th, if I'm not mistaken. They have medical documentations of me having short-term memory. And the judge assured me that they would be assisting me with bus cards and reminders for my court dates. That did not happen. I did not get a chance to meet no one. No one has helped me with this situation or this matter. I have not picked up any new charges. I have been going to detox. I've been focused on trying to change the whole pattern of life, period. I just became a grandmother, and I can't afford to be here due to the fact I just started a job, nor can I afford the bond. I don't have anyone that can help me with that. My son is the only one that I have here, and he just became a dad. But I have done everything that I was asked to do, and I've just been waiting on the help that was supposed to have been given to me. I did.
Just a moment. Okay. Well, so Ms. Dean, and I certainly wasn't there at the last hearing that was here, so I don't know what that judge said. I'll just say it is possible. I think some people misunderstand what pretrial services supervision does. They're not necessarily a reminder service or a transportation service or something like that. So, here's what I'll do, though, Ms. Dean. I will release you on. Oh, just one moment. Okay. I'm going to release you on what's called an unsecured bond. An unsecured bond means you don't have to pay anything today. You will be released today in about 4 hours to 6 hours from now.
Yes, sir.
Okay? As long as you go to court on October 9th, that's your court date, that $750 bond gets wiped out and you don't have to pay a penny of it.
Yes, sir.
Okay?
Yes, sir.
So, you will still have pretrial services supervision. Again, pretrial services supervision is not that they're going to be calling you, reminding you today's your day to come to court.
Yes, sir.
Okay? I understand you're dealing with short-term memory loss. I'm sure that's very difficult.
Yes.
Make sure you keep your paperwork.
Yes, sir.
Make sure you check every single day. Is today the day I need to go to court?
Yes, sir.
Okay? Because I'm going to give you another chance, but then understand it's on you, completely on you.
Thank
okay?
you, and I really appreciate that.
No, you are welcome. So again, it's October 9th. If for some reason you lose your paperwork, go down to the court or call down to the court. Say, hey, I know I've got court coming up. Can you please tell me the date? Or you can even go online and look up your name. It takes a little bit of navigation, but you should be able to find it. You can go to the Superior Court website, look up your name. It'll tell you the court date.
Yes, sir.
Okay?
Yes, sir.
So again, do whatever you need to do. When you have something important, remember, do what you need to do so that you can make sure to be there on the 9th. Because if you don't make it on the 9th, there will be a new warrant issued. You'll be rearrested. Next time, it's almost certain you'll have to pay a bond, probably higher than $750, plus you'll owe the $750 on top of that.
Oh, no.
Okay? And I don't want that for you. You don't want that for you either.
No, sir.
Okay. All right.
I'm so sorry.
No, go ahead.
So I am also supposed to be going to Canyon Vista.
Mm-hmm.
That's for the detox.
Mm-hmm.
I'm supposed to call them tomorrow. because I have other court things that I need to just complete, which is detox is one of them.
Mm-hmm.
So am I okay to do that for this situation?
Well, I mean, if you think you need to go to detox, you should go to detox. I'm not ordering that. I don't have the ability to order that, okay? But you need to let them know, hey, because sometimes I've heard people say, oh, well, I wasn't allowed to leave.
That's not true.
Well, that's my understanding too. But you just need to let them know, hey, I've got to go to court on this particular date.
Okay.
And make sure that they're okay with that. I don't see any reason why they wouldn't
Yeah,
be.
they supply transportation. Sorry, didn't mean to cut you off.
No, that's okay.
But once I give them the paperwork that you have for me, they will actually set up transportation to bring me to court.
Okay.
So I just want to make sure that I was not going to step on anything with this.
No, that wouldn't step in any way on what I'm ordering
Okay.
today.
Yes, sir.
So that's a good question.
Yes,
Ms.
sir.
Dean, do you have any other questions?
I just thank you so much for hearing me out.
No, you're welcome, Ms. Dean. Good luck to
Thank you. Same to you. If I need to go.
They'll hand you paperwork.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Good afternoon,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Could you please state your name and provide your date of birth?
It's Daniel Philip Rodella, 3.
Thank you, Mr. Rodella. Is that how you pronounce it?
Yes, sir.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Rodella. Mr. Rodella, you're here on a Superior Court probation violation warrant for alleged violations of terms 3 and 5. I've appointed you an attorney. You have a probation hearing October 4th, 8:30 a.m. at the downtown Phoenix Superior Courthouse. Mr. Rodella, I am affirming the bond in the amount of $500. It's a secured appearance bond. You can pay that directly or work with a bail bonding company. They generally require, it's less than $1,000. So some may not work with that number. My understanding is that there are some that will. I don't know what their terms will be, but if you pay your bond, you're promising to go to court on all of your court dates. You're also promising to comply with the standard conditions and restrictions of release. Plus, you're not to possess any weapons, you're not to possess or consume any alcohol, and you must contact your probation officer within 72 hours of release.
Thanks.
Mr. Rodella, do you have any questions?
No, sir.
All right, thank you, sir. Good luck to you.
You too.
Tell me why I made the decision I made. All right, good afternoon, sir. Could you please state your name and provide your date of birth? Mr. Pimentel. Mr. Pimentel, you're here on a Superior Court probation violation warrant for alleged violations of terms 3 and 5. I've appointed you an attorney. You have a probation hearing October 4th, 8:30 a.m. at the downtown Phoenix Superior Courthouse. Mr. Pimentel, I am affirming the bond in the amount of $250. That is a secured appearance bond. It's less than $1,000, and in fact, the amount's so low, I don't think any bail bonding companies will work with that number, but I may be mistaken. Either way, if you pay your bond, you'll be released. You're then promising to go to court on all of your court dates. You're also promising to comply with the standard conditions and restrictions of release. Plus, you're not to possess any weapons, you're not to possess or consume any alcohol. You must submit to fingerprinting at the arresting police department, and you must contact your probation officer within 72 hours of release. Mr. Pimentel, do you have any questions?
Is there any way I can get ROR'd? Because the only reason I have a violation is for not doing, like, DNA samples and,
Yeah, so Mr. Pimentel, the issue, I mean, in reviewing the notes from your probation officer, I mean, your probation officer made attempt after attempt to get a hold of you, leaving information and things like that. And so, as I see it, I mean, you've had opportunities. And Mr. Pimentel, if you were, I understand you need to do the DNA and stuff like that. If you were in contact with your probation officer and maybe just hadn't done a few other things, I would be releasing you.
I was in contact with him. I was losing different phones that I had and numbers and.
I mean, Mr. Pimentel, the probation officer is not showing that there was any contact for some time. Let's see. Yeah. So the officer tried over and over again. I mean, like I said, left information with, I think, your family where you were staying and stuff. So that's why it's really important that you do stay in contact with probation, do what they're requiring of you, because understand, probation is a privilege, so you don't have to go to prison. If you're not doing what they're requiring of you, you're going to end up coming back here a few times and eventually go to prison. So
I was in contact with him. I left him voicemails and texts, and he would leave me voicemails and texts back, but we couldn't get on the same page to get a hold of each other.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
So, Mr. Pimentel, just to give you this perspective, there's people who will never, ever, there's people who will find an excuse why they couldn't comply. There's people who will never, ever find an excuse. They'll find every reason to make sure that they do comply with probation. And I rarely see them in here. When I do, it's usually because they've relapsed, and then I send them on their way. Because if they're trying to stay in contact and they're struggling with sobriety, that's pretty understandable, but not, maintaining contact and doing what probation is asking you to do, that's a whole other thing. So I just want to give you that perspective because I don't want you to have to come back here.
Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you, sir. Good luck to you. Jeff Myers and then Austin Milner.
Hi again, sir.
Good afternoon, sir. Could you please state your name and
Jeff
provide your date of
Myers,
birth?
December.
Mr. Myers. Mr. Myers, you're here on a Peoria Municipal Court warrant and on a Superior Court direct complaint arrest warrant. We'll start with that. You are charged in your Maricopa County Superior Court case with 1 count of possession or use of narcotic drugs, a Class 4 felony, 1 count of possession or use of drug paraphernalia, which is a Class 6 felony. I have appointed you an attorney. You have a status conference October 11th, 8:31 a.m., preliminary hearing October 15th, 8:31 a.m. Mr. Myers, I'm going to release you on supervised release.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So you're going to leave here in about 4 hours
Okay.
to 6 hours from now. Let's see.
Thank you,
Just a
sir.
moment. You're welcome. Well, just a moment. Does he have a hold from Peoria?
Hey, bro, let me see the door card for Myers.
Oh, no. Just a moment. Never.
I tried contacting them. Their thing is online.
No?
I even went to their court.
Well, I actually, excuse me, I have the Peoria warrant here, so my apologies. Does he have any holds? No. Okay. All right. So, yeah, so Mr. Myers, you're going to leave in about 4 hours to 6 hours from now. Make sure to go to court on all those court dates, comply with pretrial services supervision. You have the standard conditions and restrictions of release, plus you're not to possess any weapons. Now, you're going to have court in 2 different places.
Yeah.
I understand you got Maricopa County, you've got Peoria.
Peoria.
Peoria is for disobeying a resisting
They're going to be
order.
over on the phone. I went all the way to the courthouse, and they said, "What are you doing here?" No, you don't have to show up. You do it on phone.
Okay. Well,
But I screwed that up even.
okay, well, make sure to go to court, so you do need, check with them, but
Yeah,
otherwise,
yeah.
make sure you're there, arraignment hearing, Peoria Municipal Court, October 17th at 9 a.m.
Yes, sir.
Okay? I'm
I
releasing
definitely
you on
will
your, what's that?
I definitely will call first.
Okay, great. And then I'm releasing you on your own recognizance. In this case, again, same conditions and restrictions of release, so 4 to 6 hours, you'll be on your way.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Myers. Good luck to you.
Thank you.
Austin Milner and then Charles Hernandez will be on deck.
Austin Milner, 7.
Thank you, Mr. Milner. Mr. Milner, you're here on a Superior Court new case. I find probable cause for the allegation of 1 count of theft of means of transportation, which is a Class 3 felony. I've appointed you an attorney. You have a status conference October 11th, 8:31 a.m. Preliminary hearing October 15th, 8:31 a.m. Mr. Milner, I'm going to release you on supervised release. So you're going to leave here in about 4 hours to 6 hours from now. You're welcome. Because you're being released, you're promising to go to court on all of your court dates, promising to comply with supervision and with the standard conditions and restrictions of release. In addition, you're not to return to the scene of the alleged crime. You're not to initiate contact with any alleged victims, complainants, or witnesses, or have any physical contact with any alleged victims. You're also not to possess any weapons.
Yes,
Mr.
sir.
Milner, do you have any questions?
No, sir.
All right, thank you, sir. Good luck to
Thank
you. You're welcome. Good morning. Good afternoon, sir. Could you please state your name and provide your date of birth?
Charles Hernandez.
Thank you, Mr. Hernandez. Sir, you're here on a Superior Court new case. I find probable cause for the allegations, 1 count of possession or use of narcotic drugs, a Class 4 felony. 1 count of possession or use of drug paraphernalia, a Class 6 felony. I've appointed you an attorney. You have a status conference October 11th, 8:31 a.m.
Sir, does it make any
Oh, Mr. Hernandez, if you'll please wait. When I'm finished, I promise I'll hear from you.
All right.
You have a preliminary hearing October 15th, 8:31 a.m., downtown Phoenix Superior Courthouse. Mr. Hernandez, I'm going to release you on supervised release. So that means you will leave here in about 4 hours to 6 hours from now. Because you're being released, you're promising to go to court on all of your court dates, promising to comply with supervision and with the standard conditions and restrictions of release. In addition, you're not to return to the scene of the alleged crime, you're not to possess any weapons, and you must contact your probation officer within 72 hours of release. Mr. Hernandez, did you have a question?
No, I'll take care of it with my lawyer.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
You have the 2 alleged probation violations because of your new arrest.
Yes.
So these are alleged Term 1 violations. I've appointed you an attorney. You have a probation hearing October 4th, 8:30 a.m. Again, that's also at the downtown Phoenix Superior Courthouse. I'm releasing you on your own recognizance in these, and you have the same conditions and restrictions of release.
I didn't know that.
Oh, so let me just explain that. You're on probation in 2 cases,
Yes.
right? When you get arrested, if you get arrested in a new case, that's an alleged Term 1 violation, because Term 1 of probation is that you don't commit any additional criminal acts.
Well, I didn't. No trespassing. I walk on the sidewalk and that's trespass.
Okay. Mr. Hernandez,
Okay.
that's why these are alleged Term 1 probation violations. I'm not
Okay.
saying that
Okay.
you're innocent unless proven guilty on the new case, and these are alleged violations of that, but you still have a hearing on it. So all the hearing dates will be in your paperwork. They'll be provided to you. Make sure to be to court.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Thank you, sir. Good luck to you. Ulysses Gonzalez and then Alberto Twitchell-Simon will be on deck. Good afternoon, sir. Could you please state your name and provide your date of birth?
Ulysses Arenas.
Thank you, Mr. Arenas. Sir, you're here on a justice court new case. I find probable cause for the allegations. 1 count of carrying a deadly weapon, failure to admit the same. It's a Class 1 misdemeanor. 1 count of driving with your license suspended, revoked, or canceled, a Class 1 misdemeanor. 1 count of carrying a deadly weapon while being under 21 years of age. That's a Class 3 misdemeanor. I've appointed you an attorney. You have an arraignment hearing October 15th, 1:30 p.m. at the West McDowell Justice Court. Mr. Arenas, I'm going to release you on supervised release. So you will leave here in approximately 4 hours to 6 hours from now. Because you're being released, you're promising to go to court on all of your court dates, promising to comply with supervision and with the standard conditions and restrictions of release, plus you are not to possess any weapons. Mr. Arenas, do you have any questions?
No, sir.
Thank you, sir. Good luck to you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Albert Johnson will be on deck. Good afternoon, sir. Could you please state your name and provide your date of birth?
Alberto Thomas Twitchell-Simmons.
Thank you, Mr. Twitchell-Simmons. Sir, you're here on a Superior Court direct complaint arrest warrant. You're charged with 2 counts of aggravated DUI because your license was previously suspended or revoked for a DUI. That's a Class 4 felony. I've appointed you an attorney. You have a status conference October 11th, 8:31 a.m. Preliminary hearing October 15th, 8:31 a.m. Downtown Phoenix Superior Courthouse. Mr. Twitchell-Simmons, I am going to release you on your own recognizance. So you're going to leave here in about 4 hours to 6 hours from now. Because you are being released, you're promising to go to court on all of your court dates. You're also promising to comply with the standard conditions and restrictions of release. Plus, you're not to possess any weapons. You're also not to possess or consume any alcohol. Sir, do you have any questions?
No.
All right. Thank you. Good luck to you.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome. Dominic Johnson and then Stanton Williams will be on deck. Good afternoon, sir. Could you please state your name and provide your date of birth?
Dominic Johnson, 0.
Thank you, Mr. Johnson. Mr. Johnson, you're here on a Superior Court new case. You know what, Jacqueline, I have to edit this slightly, sorry. So, Mr. Johnson, I do not find probable cause for either of the allegations. That would be theft of means of transportation and selling a weapon to a prohibited person, a Class 3 and Class 4 felony, respectively. However, based on what the police wrote, I do not find probable cause. That does not mean that the police cannot, or excuse me, that the prosecutor's office can't still file those charges at a later date. They may decide to do so when they have more information. So make sure you keep your information updated with the court, address, contact information.
Yes, sir.
There's a possibility they will file charges within 48 hours. If they do that, then you have a status conference October 11th, 8:31 a.m. at the downtown Phoenix Superior Courthouse. Preliminary hearing October 15th, 8:31 a.m. I have appointed you an attorney in that eventuality. I would probably check next week or at least before the 11th to see if your case is going forward.
Yes, sir.
So that, you know, better safe than sorry. All right, Mr. Johnson, there are no conditions or restrictions of release because I find no probable cause. Do you have any questions?
No, sir.
All right, thank you, Mr. Johnson. Good luck to you.
So does that mean I'm leaving, or?
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, you're going to leave in about 4 hours to 6 hours.
All right, thank you. Appreciate
You're welcome. Thank you, sir. Stanton Williams, and then Frank Hernandez will be on deck. I have to edit this one too. Sorry, I just didn't check the boxes for PC. All right, good afternoon, sir. Could you please state your name and provide your date of birth?
My name is Stanton Williams.
Mr. Williams. Mr. Williams, you are here on a Superior Court new case. I do not find probable cause, though, for either of the alleged charges. That would be 1 count of possession or use of narcotic drugs, 1 count of possession or use of drug paraphernalia, Class 4, Class felony, respectively. Now, I don't find probable cause. That does not mean you can't still be charged with these. That may happen in the future. So make sure to keep your contact information up to date with the court. You are being released today. It'll be about 4 hours to 6 hours from now. You'll be on your way. If they file charges within 48 hours, then you will have a status conference, they, meaning the prosecutor's office, you'll have a status conference October 11th, 8:30, 1 a.m. Preliminary hearing October 15th, 8:30, 1 a.m. at the downtown Phoenix Superior Courthouse, and I've appointed you an attorney. So, Mr. Williams, make sure to reach out in about a week to the court, certainly before the 11th. It's probably not going to go forward, but there is a chance that it will. So, again, make sure to reach out, see if your case is going forward.
I'm sorry, can I ask a question?
Yes, absolutely.
Should I call them, or will they call me? Because if they're gonna call me, I wanna know what number they have.
That's a good question. Unfortunately, I don't know what number they would
Okay, so
have.
I'm gonna call them.
Yeah, so I would, reach out to them,
Okay, thank you.
to the court. Yeah, you could also look it up online, but I don't know if the information will show up online.
Okay,
Okay. Do you have any other questions,
No,
Mr.
sir.
Williams? All right, thank you, sir. Good luck to you.
thank you.
You're welcome. Frank Hernandez and then Joshua Tucker will be on deck. Good afternoon, sir. Could you please state your name and provide your date of birth?
Frank Torres Hernandez.
Mr. Hernandez, you're here on a Superior Court probation violation warrant, and this is for alleged violations of term number 3. So, Mr. Hernandez, I've appointed you an attorney. You have a probation hearing October 4th, 8:30 a.m. at the downtown Phoenix Superior Courthouse. Mr. Hernandez, I see that this is your first probation violation. I am going to give you another chance. So I'm going to release you. It'll be about 4 hours to 6 hours from now. You'll be on your way. Mr. Hernandez, it's really important that you get in contact with your probation officer, report down to the probation office. So I don't think you've even been assigned one yet. Make sure you get down there. You'll be provided information with the names of the probation offices. Mr. Hernandez, this is where, really, your destiny is in your hands. I'm sure it's a pain to have to do this. I have no doubt that's the case. But if you do it, get in contact, stay in touch with your probation officer, do the things that are required of you, you're going to be able to get through probation. You're not going to have to come back here. If you don't, you're going to end up coming back here. Next time there will be a warrant, there will be another warrant issued. You'll almost certainly have to pay a bond in order to be released. Eventually, if you don't comply, you'll end up having to spend time in prison. I'm sure you don't want to come back here or spend time in prison. So again, make sure to do that, to make that contact and stay in contact. If I didn't already say it, standard conditions and restrictions of release, plus you're not to possess any weapons, you're not to possess or consume any alcohol. You'll be on your way in 4 to 6 hours from now.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Mr. Hernandez, do you have any questions?
No,
All right, thank you, sir. Good luck to you.
thank you.
You're welcome. Joshua Tucker and then Octavius Thompson will be on deck. Good afternoon, sir. Could you please state your name and provide your date of birth?
Joshua Tucker,
Thank you, Mr. Tucker. Mr. Tucker, you're here on 2 municipal court warrants. Both are from the Goodyear Municipal Court. Mr. Tucker, are you currently in custody on other matters?
I got released yesterday. I've been here for like 4 months, and I only have a warrant because I was in custody. I have payment plans set up, and
Yeah.
I haven't been able to make them do to be in custody.
No, that's just fine. I just didn't want to, if you weren't being released, I didn't want to do something that would cause you more issues. So I'm going to be releasing you on these. So you have an arraignment hearing October 16th, 8:30 a.m. at the Goodyear Municipal Courthouse. You'll be leaving in about 4 hours to 6 hours from now because I'm releasing you on your own recognizance. You're also promising then to go to court on all of your court dates and to comply with the standard conditions and restrictions of release, plus you're not to possess any weapons. Mr. Tucker, do you have any questions?
No, sir.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Tucker. Good luck to you.
Thank you.
Octavius Thompson and then Jayshwan Watson will be on deck. Good afternoon, sir. Could you please state your name and provide your date of birth?
Octavius Thompson, December.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Thompson. Mr. Thompson, you're here on a Superior Court new case and on 2 alleged probation violations because of the new arrest in your new case. So in your new case, sir, I find probable cause for the allegations. 1 count of possession or use of narcotic drugs, a Class 4 felony. 1 count of possession, use of drug paraphernalia, Class 6 felony. 1 count of resisting arrest, passive resistance, which is a Class 1 misdemeanor.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Thompson, I've appointed you an attorney. Your case will be heard at the downtown Phoenix Superior Courthouse. You have a status conference October 11th, 8:30, 1 a.m. Preliminary hearing October 15th, 8:30, 1 a.m. And sir, I'm going to release you on your own recognizance. You are going to leave here in approximately 4 hours to 6 hours from now.
Yes, sir.
Because you're being released, you're promising to go to court on all of your court dates. You're also promising to comply with the standard conditions and restrictions of release. In addition, you're not to possess any weapons, you're not to possess or consume any alcohol, and you must contact your probation officer within 72 hours of release. Then, Mr. Thompson, in your 2 probation matters, because of your new arrest, you have alleged Term 1 violations. I've appointed you an attorney. You have a probation hearing October 4th, 8:30 a.m. at the downtown Phoenix Superior Courthouse. Again, I'm releasing you on your own recognizance in these cases. You have those same conditions and restrictions of release.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Thompson, do you have any questions?
What was the second one? You said one of them, but you said there was 2 of them, wasn't there?
Oh, well, it's because you have 2 probation cases.
Ah,
So in each probation case, then you have an alleged Term 1 violation.
okay.
So, yeah, so both
Alright.
cases will be heard, both the probation cases will be heard on October 4th.
All at once?
Yeah, at once. Yeah,
Sure.
and all the information will be in your paperwork.
Yes, sir.
Any other questions, sir?
No, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Thompson. Good luck to you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Good afternoon, sir. Could you please state your name and provide your date of birth?
Yes, sir. J. Sean J. Watson, 3.
Thank you, Mr. Watson. Mr. Watson, you're here on a Superior Court new case. You have 2 alleged probation violations because of the new arrest as well. And so in your new case, sir, I find probable cause for the allegation of 1 count of criminal damage, a Class 5 felony. I've appointed you an attorney. You have a status conference October 11th, 8:31 a.m. Preliminary hearing October 15th, 8:31 a.m. That'll be at the downtown Phoenix Superior Courthouse. Mr. Watson, I'm going to release you on your own recognizance in this case. You're going to leave here in approximately 4 hours to 6 hours from now. Because you are being released, you're promising to go to court on all of your court dates. You're also promising to comply with the standard conditions and restrictions of release. In addition, you're not to return to the scene of the alleged crime. You're also not to possess any weapons, not to possess or consume any alcohol, and you must submit to fingerprinting at the arresting police department within 5 days of today's date. Then, Mr. Watson, regarding your 2 alleged probation violations, again, these are alleged Term 1 violations. I've appointed you an attorney. You have a probation hearing October 4th, 8:30 a.m., downtown Phoenix Superior Courthouse. I'm releasing you on your own recognizance in these cases as well, and you have those same conditions and restrictions of release. Mr. Watson, do you have any questions?
No, sir.
All right, thank you, sir. Good luck to you. Cynthia Hernandez. And then is Mr. Tillman a house call?
It's a co-defendant.
Oh, so that's why we moved into the end.
Once we're done with her,
Okay, yeah. I know, that's fine, we can do that. All right, good afternoon, ma'am. Could you please state your name and provide your date of birth?
Cynthia Hernandez, 3.
Thank you, Ms. Hernandez. Ms. Hernandez, you're here on an Arrowhead Justice Court warrant. I find probable cause for the allegation, 1 count of failure to obey a police officer. That is a Class 1 misdemeanor. You are not entitled to court-appointed counsel due to the nature of this charge. However, you can hire your own private attorney if you wish to do so. You have an arraignment hearing at the Arrowhead Justice Court October 15th at 2 p.m. And Ms. Hernandez, I'm going to release you on your own recognizance. You will leave here in approximately 4 hours to 6 hours from now. Because you're being released, you're promising to go to court on all of your court dates, and you are promising to comply with the standard conditions and restrictions of release. Ms. Hernandez, do you have any questions?
No.
All right, thank you, ma'am. Good luck to you. Good afternoon, sir. Could you please state your name and provide your date of birth?
Diavion Elijah Tillman.
Thank you, Mr. Tillman. So, Mr. Tillman, this is an initial appearance court. I'm going over your charges, court dates, and release conditions. If you don't like what I've said today, please be aware anytime you see a judge, it's possible those can be modified. And I am appointing you an attorney so you can speak with your attorney about requesting modification. I'm going to go through everything. Please wait. If you have questions for me, I will take your questions at the end. And I do want to remind you that you have the right to remain silent. What you say in court today can be used against you in your case in the future. So, Mr. Tillman, you're here on a Superior Court new case. I find probable cause for the allegations. 1 count of murder in the first degree during the commission of a crime. It's a Class 1 felony. 1 count of kidnapping with apprehension of injury, a Class 2 felony. I've appointed you an attorney. You have a status conference October 3rd, 8:31 a.m., and a preliminary hearing October 7th, 8:31 a.m. Your case will be at the downtown Phoenix Superior Courthouse. Mr. Tillman, I am setting a cash-only bond, the amount of $1 million. Cash only means you have to pay that full amount in order to be released. I believe you can work with a bail bonding company or another financial institution to help you pay that. I don't know what their terms will be, though. So if you pay your bond, you will be released. You're then promising to go to court on all of your court dates. If you'll wait, Mr. Tillman, I promise I'll take your questions at the end.
Okay, thank you.
So if you pay the bond, you'll be released. You're promising to go to court on all of your court dates. You will have an ankle monitor installed. You will be under house arrest. You also must comply with supervision and with the standard conditions and restrictions of release. In addition, you're not to return to the scene of the alleged crime. You're not to initiate contact with any alleged victims, complainants, or witnesses, or have any physical contact with any alleged victims. You're also not to have any contact with any co-defendants. You are not to possess any weapons. You must surrender all passports at your next court date. You may not have any contact with the deceased victim's spouse, parent, child, grandparent, or sibling, or any other person related to the victim by consanguinity or affinity to the second degree, or any other lawful representative of the deceased alleged victim.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Tillman, you have a question?
Am I allowed to be released on ankle today?
You're not, sir. You have to pay the $1 million in order to be released.
And there's no other way around that?
There is not at this time, Mr. Tillman. Again, as I explained at the beginning, another judge can modify this bond.
And that'll only be on the 30th of October?
So October 3rd is your first court date.
3rd.
Yeah,
Okay.
October 3rd is your first court date. So it's possible it can happen then. It probably won't. You will be appointed an attorney, and you can speak with your attorney about requesting modification. Usually a motion will get filed first. But again, it is possible it could happen on the 3rd.
Yes, sir.
Any other questions?
So, just hypothetically speaking, if something that everybody was saying about this situation, it was wrong, what would happen?
Well, here's what I'll say, Mr. Tillman, is that your case can go any number of directions, okay?
Yes, sir.
I'm only looking whether there's probable cause. Could you be charged with these crimes? That's a very low standard.
Yes,
The
sir.
standard for a conviction is a much higher standard. You're innocent unless proven guilty.
Yes,
The
sir.
reason I've set the bond is because the state constitution requires me to set a bond based on a number of factors, one of which is public safety. That's why I've set that bond. So you'll be appointed an attorney, more evidence, there'll be provided evidence. You know, these type of cases can go for a long time. It's also possible this case could be resolved quickly. So that's why I can't really tell you what's going to happen.
I don't even know how to feel or think, for real.
Oh, this is heavy stuff, Mr. Tillman.
It's just a lot of thinking, sir, because I've done a whole year of probation already. I don't know. It's just a lot.
Yeah. Do you have any other questions, Mr. Tillman?
No, sir.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Tillman.
Thank you.